All right, it's winch day for the Gladiator. As far as I know, I'm the first one setting it up, and let me show you what I got, because we are doing something unique, and we're doing a receiver mount, and we're going with a synthetic Zsuper 9500. So receiver mount's kind of cool. Let me show you what I got here. I got older jumper cables, and I got those connectors. Only time I've ever gotten stuck ever with a car was in snow. We had 3 feet of snow, 6 foot of banks. The only way I was going to get myself out was by pulling backwards. I've never gotten stuck where I couldn't recover going forward. So having a forward mounted winch sounds cool for off-roading. I'm not heavy into that. What I am worried about is snow, mud, and being able to pull myself backwards. So the jumper cables are going to run to the back of the car. Hopefully I'll show you that. And then there'll be another one with the quick connect that'll run to the front. I have the front receiver on order, but due to COVID-19, it is delayed. They didn't tell me that till the day it was supposed to be here, which kind of sucks. So let me get this going and I'll show you where I'm at. All right, time to install the winch to the plate. This is the receiver plate. I've pulled this through. First, I'm gonna mount the fairlead upright. And the trick is to lay out your hardware. So I've got 2 of these bolts that bolt in there, and then 4 of the other bolts, and the washers and the lock washers. And what sizes you need. This is a 19, and this is a 16. This is also 19. The square ones will fit on the bottom. And just so everybody knows, when you put a bolt in, bolt, lock washer, washer, and then the nut goes on the other side. And that's the proper technique. So bolt, lock washer, washer. Always remember that. All right, should have a video in a minute of it all mounted up. And I just proved myself wrong, because this one only fits in there like that, so that acts like the washer. So on the back side, then we'll do washer, lock washer, and then nut on the back side so that it fits. You never know, right? All right, that was incredible how easily these bolts went in on the bottom. You just slide the square nuts in on the mount. I flipped it over, dropped these in from the top. Like I said, it's bolt, lock washer, washer. Tighten it down. This took less than a minute. Amazing. Let's flip it over. It's heavy. That give you an idea how to get that going. And that's it. So there's the receiver mount. Got to mount the handles and do the electrical connections on here. And I'll mount it on the truck. And now for the electrical connections, which I went to the book and found the diagram, and it's even simpler than anything. Red, yellow, black. I got yellow, red, and black. One is the battery red. So these short 3 wires, boom, that's it. All right, so I just showed you red, yellow, and black, but forgot to tell you about the battery black. You're gonna have to have battery line, all right? You gotta have black and red going to your battery. So make sure you go black there. That's your ground. Red and yellow is your directions. It's a DC motor, so one's gonna pull it one way, one's gonna pull it the other way. So that's it. And don't forget this little tiny one goes on the bottom. There's another tab here on the bottom, and I'll flip that over and show you in a minute. So almost done. All right, now to put the handles on. You see I got my boot covers on my electric connections, and those are really important. Make sure they're on there good. And the yellow and the black one were really tough. You had to struggle to get them on. Kind of bent the tab up a little bit so I could slide them on. Red went on super easy. And on the bottom, the little connection is made. And that's it. So I'm going to bolt on the sidebars now. All my hardware is laid out, 13 millimeter, and we'll go from there. All right, so nothing ever goes perfect. This is the one that came with the receiver mount. If you see, it doesn't have this taper on it, and you can't get it through the hole. So this is my standard one. Let's take a look back on how that's sitting. And if you see, it's sitting low, and I don't like where it's sitting. So I'm gonna get one of those adapters that raises up, come up about 4 inches, and that'll make it sit where I want it to. If you were doing a front mount you'd be just making up the electrical connections now, but I've got to run power from the passenger side down along the frame via those jumper cables I showed you earlier, and back here to a plug. And I'll show you how that turns out when I get there. All right, so I ran my battery cables. I don't know if I described it to you before, but these are 0 gauge jumper cables. I ran them underneath the truck, and I'm getting ready to mount these. So the important thing is to make sure you cut the wire long enough so it fits all the way in there. That way you get the best conductivity. I did slice my finger doing it, that's why I have blood there. If you install this on a Gladiator, kind of show you how I ran it up in the wheel well there. I haven't tied it down yet. And then it's gonna run up along the body. And it comes up, there was just enough gap right there. And doesn't look like it's gonna chafe. I'm gonna wire tie it. The big thing is there's no real fuse protection here. And if that gets wet or something, well, you don't wanna have a fire. So what I'm gonna do is get a marine style battery selector switch and put it in here so I can turn it on and off. And I'm gonna have to run to the store, so I got plenty extra cable. I ordered 20 feet of this, so I ran from the back all the way to past the front, and I can see I got a belly in there, so I got plenty extra. Always leave yourself extra for the future. And like I said, I'm gonna get a switch before I wire that in, so I gotta make a store run tonight. And that's it for now. Hopefully show you in a little bit tonight or tomorrow. All right, I'm ready for finally wiring on the rear power outlet for the winch. You can see I got my cable run up through here. What I have here, this is a 300 amp circuit breaker. And I also have this disconnect switch. So this is going to be double protection, because if this wire ever chafed through, you could start a fire and burn your car up. I mean, that's it. Why I went with 300 amps is it's like at 360 amps, that winch is at full load rating. You can kind of overload these for half a second, but I'm not going to 9600. And I don't even know what the battery capacity is here. Let's see if I can pull it quick. I don't know. Anyway, probably like 600 cold cranking amps, so it could put it out, but you'll short it out. So that's only going on the red lead, because the black is chassis ground anyway, and that's going to tie in right here to the chassis ground. Coming off here, I'll have this short wire to the circuit breaker, and then the disconnect switch, and then to the main power. And when I get my front receiver, I'll run that other cable out front. All right, we're set up. I'm either gonna pull this tree out of the ground. Truck's in neutral with the brake on. Let's see what happens. Truck's gonna move or the tree's gonna move. Oh. Oh, truck's pulling. Look at that, brake on. All right. Okay, so final look at the electrical system installed, and coming up from the battery, there was a spare post over here. Come to our 300 amp breaker. This lid is just loose, so if you go in the top here, you're not really going into anything. 300 amps. You could actually use this as your on-off switch if you want to. I want the separate key one. you don't have to. And then we go down to our DC cable. And then the black DC cable, I terminated right here. There was a spare black. And I want to show you one thing I messed up on. It's really hot today, so I got the truck half in the garage. Originally, when I wired it up, I had the black battery lead going to black here, and that was wrong, and everything was getting real hot and was blowing the circuit breaker. So it actually goes on the bottom, and you'll see the video of it pulling the tree. All right.